You are now tuned in to the 411 for your fantasy football with your host, Autumn Wind Williams.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Autumn Wind Williams, and you're now tuned into the 411 for your fantasy football. We are talking DFS for week one. It's, a week away, man. Finally a week away from the Sunday slate. Thursday's popping off with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans. I don't generally do showdown slates. I don't know. Maybe if I get some likes on this video, I'll do some showdown slates. Anyway, you can follow me at the 411 DFS on Twitter, Instagram. Don't forget to like, subscribe this video on YouTube. And this video, I'm focusing on providing you my wide receivers that I'm considering putting in my lineups. 3 guys that I'm very interested in, far as if it's Millie Maker or cash games. And later on, maybe tomorrow, I'll have a tight end video up for week one, and then a defense video, for your DST positions on FanDuel, DraftKings, and Yahoo. No longer fantasy draft. Some things popped off with fantasy draft, which was weird. I was questioning why don't they have any NFL up right now, as far as lineups for week one. And they just wasn't putting anything out. And then they said that it was going to be an announcement Friday afternoon, something really huge for fantasy draft. And then they pretty much surprised us all by having Monkey Knife Fight take over. We didn't get any prior notice this was happening. It was just really surprising. I log on to fantasy draft like, okay, maybe they're going to have the lineups now for us to start building, because, man, it's only a week away. If I want tons of lineups, I need more time, especially if I'm doing Yahoo, DraftKings, and FanDuel. And they're basically telling us to turn our money over to Monkey Knife, transfer it over. What's cool, though, with Monkey Knife Fight, if you want to play, what they do provide you, if you transfer your money over and sign up for Monkey Knife Fight, and you make a $10 deposit, they reward you with $100 into an all-season long contest. I haven't looked into it to find out what the prize pool is or anything. I haven't put $10 in yet. I just transferred my money and played with one all season long. I think it's like props that you do. If Mahomes will get over 4,000 yards, if Odell Beckham will get 1,000 yards, stuff like that. You put over under. I don't know if I want to play that or not. I'm not really into the prop bets that much like I am with DFS. But I think Monkey Knife Fight actually supposed to have daily fantasy too now, since now they took over fantasy draft. And so if they do, I might mess around with it a little bit, see what the little $5 I put in on the all season long do. That's only for $100 prize pool. Just a little chump change right there to say I won. Bragging rights, really. But, yeah, we'll see about that. As far as with Monkey Knife Fight, it's interesting what's going on with all these DFS sites and fantasy sites. It was shocking what happened with DraftKings. Michael Jordan is now one of the big faces of DraftKings. Right now, he got my stock with a crying Jordan face because it's not moving one bit, really. I think it's down with -3%. And you would think Michael Jordan being part of DraftKings, the stock will rise, More people will put in knowing what he did for Nike. And, Nike had its times, too, where the stock just wasn't hitting. I don't even know what Nike stock looked like right now, but DraftKings is not doing good. It was crazy, though. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. A lot of my stock was going up, especially my Zoom. My Zoom stock went up, I think, to $446. But now it's moving right back down because so many people took that money and sold that stock and moved their profit to somewhere else, which I understand. I was thinking about doing that myself. Like, man, the stock not going to stay up. And I should have just went with my gut feeling. But I'm one of those guys, I don't really like to touch my stock that much. I like to let it sit in there, let it multiply. Don't get too eager to go sell stock and then, withdraw for different expenses because then it's taxable too. But, if I do, though, I'm going to be investing in something else. I feel like that has a more of a upside, speaking on a DFS terms when it comes to stock. But yeah, enough with the stock talk. Let's talk about what's going on for week 1, DFS. First, I want to check out what's been going on around the league because, I think this was the last day to cut down to 53 men. And it's been a lot going on in the NFL. Josh Rosen, we knew he was going to get cut from the Dolphins. I'm expecting Fitzpatrick to be the starter for week 1 for Miami. I'm looking at Sleeper app and they said another surprise cut. I wasn't surprised, really. The Patriots released Lamar Miller. Deshaun Watson agrees to a 4-year, $160 million contract extension with the Texans. This was a shocker to me right here. Kansas City Chiefs cuts DeAndre Washington and keeps Darrell Williams. I feel like that's a real big mistake because Mahomes wanted DeAndre Washington because they played college football together. That's the only reason why DeAndre Washington went to the Kansas City Chiefs after leaving the Las Vegas Raiders. And I think he wanted to do that too because it was a rivalry in the same division. But I thought DeAndre Washington would do good on the Kansas City Chiefs. I actually put him in some lineups for my showdown slate, even one on the captain spot because I feel like more people was going to focus on Allaire and this guy was just going to be that sleeper that go in and get a touchdown and maybe 50 or 75 yards. But, oh, well, hopefully land somewhere. The Chargers, though, they just made an agreement with Keenan Allen. They agreed on terms for an extension, and it's for more than $80 million on a 4-year extension. He's now the second highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Debo Samuel is activated from the NFI list for the 49ers. I know a lot of people was wondering what's going on. I still don't think he's probably going to play week 1, though. So keep an eye on that. Lynn Bowden Jr. went to the Dolphins from the Las Vegas Raiders with a 6th-rounder and for Raekwon McMillan and a 5th-rounder. That's interesting. Okay. They just drafted that guy. I wonder what went on. But anyway, Tredavius White, Bills All-Pro cornerback. He just finalized a 4-year contract extension with the Buffalo Bills. And, wow, I was wondering what's going on with this guy. Former Falcon running back Devonte Freeman is now visiting the Jaguars. That's interesting right there. If he's going to play for the Jaguars. A lot of people are talking up Jaguars running backs right now and Washington Redskins running backs. Everybody's questioning. We're all trying to figure out what guy is going to be the one that we need to be putting in our lineups. And I'm kind of just want to just fade both backfields, as far as Washington football team. I hope I didn't say Redskins before, but Washington football team and the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a lot going on with their running backs. I might try to put some defenses against them, but I'm just gonna research a whole lot more. I got 1 week to do that. Thanks for that. But I want to get into these wide receivers now. Those 3 wide receivers I'm considering playing in my lineup. I need a drink though. It's another heat wave out here in California. Shout out to Modelo. I drink it and they paying me for it. Psych, I wish they was. But the first wide receiver that I'm considering putting in my lineups, well, actually going to have in a lot of lineups, is Devonte Freeman. No, it's not COVID. Anyway, Devonte Freeman, we all are aware, that the issue that was going on with Green Bay with the drafting was questionable. Why didn't they get another wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers? And I'm trying to just kill that noise right now for week 1. And I'm looking at Minnesota Vikings secondary this year. They're not going to be great. I see this is a chance for them to get obliterated in week 1 by Aaron Rodgers and Devonte Adams. And, he's going to play a major part in this game as far as red zone targets. Last year, he had 7 games where he got over 100 yards. Adams, he made the Pro Bowl 3 seasons in a row. Over the last 4 seasons, he's the only receiver to get 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. And I'm expecting him to be a lot lower owned because, like I said, the draft situation, everybody's still questioning about that. I think he's going to be lower owned than the top receivers on the slate. And also because people are projecting Green Bay to be more run heavy, like I said, due to the draft. They expect him to be more run heavy, and a lot of sharp people are saying that so far around the DFS industry, and I think this is a chance for me to take advantage of a contrarian Devonte Adams, possible contrarian, I'll say for right now, because we got 1 more week, anything can happen. They can bring on another receiver, he can get injured, hopefully not, probably, anything can happen, especially when you're dealing with COVID right now. I was just watching the college football games today. I can't believe they actually have some fans in the stands. Ain't no damn way I'm going to a sporting event. I don't care how far you sit distant from me. I'm not going, bruh. Not going. Anyway, going to the next wide receiver. I have DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks. Metcalf spent a lot of time with Russell Wilson during the offseason, and I'm expecting him to take over at the number 1 receiving role for the Seahawks this season. Second-year dominant receivers like Metcalf, they generally step up a whole lot after they got a little experience in their first year. And looking at the fact that Russell Wilson, he wants to be Mr. Unlimited, that'll put DK Metcalf in more opportunities for deep passes and red zone looks. And just looking at the performance in the playoffs last year, Metcalf caught that 52-yard touchdown and set a rookie playoff record by receiving 160 yards. I had a couple folks on Twitter that was coming at me the other day about Josh Gordon, talking about, but he just re-signed with the Seahawks. But yes, he did. He re-signed with the Seahawks, and he's suspended still right now. And this is daily fantasy, not season-long. They were talking a lot of season-long ADPs and XYZs and, all them acronyms. But still, if this was season-long, I'm still picking DK Metcalf over Josh Gordon all day, every day. This is DraftKings Metcalf. So I'm putting him in my lineups, bruh. Yeah, so he is my second wide receiver I'm giving you guys. Plus, that's going to be a high-scoring game against the Falcons, who cannot cover him. He's going to burn them, man. Just look at that play from the playoffs when he got that 52-yarder. He caught the ball, fell down, and was able to still get back up and dive in the end zone. It was dope. It was really dope, man. I was like, damn, he's becoming one of my favorite new wide receivers. And so I can't help but put him in my lineups. Very last guy I'm going to give you, you probably going to scratch your head and be like, nah, let me turn off this video. Before you do, though, make sure you click like, subscribe, or even click unlike. If you don't like this next play, click unlike. Let me know. Also comment. Tell me who you would pick over. But I'm picking Damir Bird of the New England Patriots. You know, they just cut Mohamed Sanu, and Bird is currently the favorite to be the third receiver behind Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry per ESPN Mike Reese. You know, you got a lot of speed. He punt return, so that helps the DST with fantasy points if you take one to the end zone. If you stack Damir Bird and the Patriots defense, you know, that's extra points right there. Damir Bird is actually getting a little training camp hype from T.E. Coran from NBC Sports in Boston by mentioning he's the most consistent wide out in practice. And based on the history with Cam Newton from the Carolina Panthers when they were out there working together, he targeted Damir Bird a lot in the preseason. The only problem is Damir Bird will always get injured before the regular season. But I'm looking at how it was a little bit of improvement last year when he was playing for the Cardinals. He played 11 games for them, and out of those 11, 5 of those 11 games, he was able to get at least 8 fantasy points with a 19.4 fantasy point upside. So with him priced at $3,200 on DraftKings, that's a decent option for a value play to stack with Cam Newton. So that's what I have for you guys right there, you know, that I'm looking at. Some of this, you know, the two receivers, Devonte Adams and Metcalf, they have a possibility of being chalked. And Adams might be a little bit more contrarian because I said he's up there with those top receivers that a lot of people are going to pick first. You know, you got your Julio Jones, your Michael Thomas, guys like that. But I think I'm comfortable with all three. Devonte Adams, DK Metcalf, and Damir Bird. That's what I have for you guys right now. I will be making a tight end and DST video, so you guys stay tuned. If you do want a showdown video, make sure you like, subscribe, comment below. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the 411DFS. This is Autumn Wynn Williams for your 411 for fantasy football, and I'm out of here. Stay safe and stay blessed. Peace.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the 411 Podcast. Now get ready to make that money. And don't forget to follow us on Twitter at the 411 DFS.